Hey you guys, assalamualaikum. Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name is Kamara.
My name's Amir.
And today we're talking about predatory behavior.
Predatory behavior.
I did say that, right?
Yeah, you said it right this time.
I did, okay.
Question of the week.
Have you ever experienced some type of attention, whether you wanted it or you didn't want it, from someone older, and this type of attention kind of made you like, okay, should you be talking to me? You're kind of like...
weird.
Comment in the section below.
When we're talking about predatory behavior, we're specifically talking about kind of individuals who are targeting kids.
Like teenagers.
Teenagers, you know?
I mean, and children too, but for this one, like teenagers specifically.
I've seen on many occasions that people in their mid-20s will be looking to get into relationships or marriages with these teenagers, and a lot of times just because they're not in a position where they can marry someone who's their age.
Because people their age, they know exactly what they want and what they don't want in a spouse. Let's say like they're like 22 and this person's like 16. Not all 16-year-olds know what they want and what they don't want. I sure in the heck didn't know what I wanted and what I didn't want at 16.
You said that you had an experience, right? So like, what happened with you? Like,
okay, so when I was 16, like I just turned 16, like a couple months, because it was like January, I think. Anyway, so I just turned 16, and then like this guy who was actually interested in my friend who was 17, and he was like 23. She was like, oh, you know, I know somebody who would be good for you. And then like we started talking. But the fact that I was 16 and he was like 23 should have been like a red flag. But at the time I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like this guy, he wants to talk to me. I've never talked to guys before this. So it was just like this new experience. And it was almost, I guess, like flattering. Like, oh, this older man is showing interest in me. So, you know, let me talk to him. But when my dad found out... he was like, you're 16, you're a minor, he's 23. I had a dad like that in my life because...
But you think that if it wasn't for your dad, you might have gotten into this situation, this relationship possibly. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm glad that I don't know. Well, yes, actually, yes, because my mom was like, oh, you should totally go for it. So if it wasn't for my dad, it was just...
And so later on, did you find anything out about this individual? Like,
yeah. Okay. So once my dad kind of like talked to me, like, hey, you're 16, you still don't really know what's going on. Like at first I got offended, like, well, yeah, Dad, but I'm more mature than all your average 16-year-old, which is a lie. You're just all mature and immature in your own way, but your experience in this world is only like 16 years. It wasn't until I took a step back that I saw the red flags, which were some major red flags.
So let's talk about some of those red flags that you saw, like, you know.
Okay,
I mean, like we're fully diving in. So
we're fully diving in. Okay, so the first red flag, he was talking to me when I was 16. Second red flag, this man was in another country.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, when you mentioned it earlier, I was like, that's so true. He was in another country, so. And the third red flag is he made it seem like he was interested in me because I was mature for my age, but also like at the same time innocent and like pure and like basically like he could groom me to be what he wanted me to be. Which is really freaking weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Yeah, you want me to be like the wife of your dream, blah, blah, blah. But now thinking about it, I was like, that guy was crazy.
I think from my experience and like people I've interacted with that are looking for a younger spouse, right? Like, they might come to me and ask me for advice, like, yeah, man, you know, I'm talking to this girl. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Everything sounds good. And then I'm like, how old is she? You know, she's like, you know, 17, 16. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And then, you know, I do my best to talk them out of the situation, right? But at the same time, it's like, I realize that they're not really in a position to actually get married. Right?
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, like someone their age wouldn't be putting up with their stuff, you know. Like, for instance, someone if you're like 23, 24 years old, you're trying to get married, you don't have a car, you don't have a job, right? It's like you're not in a position to get married, so why are you trying to convince someone who's younger than you to get married to you, because you know that someone your age isn't gonna, like,
Exactly.
It's just you're not in a position to really
for it. Someone your age is gonna be like, bruh, you's a bum. Like, get yourself together. And a younger girl's gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's okay. Like, I'll accept you, and we could live in a storage room for $1 a month, and
That's a little extreme, but yeah. So you should definitely be aware. Like, in some cases, it might be genuine. It might be okay, but I don't think that people at that age are prepared for a real relationship, right? Like, you're innocent, right? You don't really know what you want.
There's so much more experience that you need.
There's a lot of growth that you still have to do, and I think a big thing is that I think this is really common for people from overseas. Like, people overseas will look for someone who's super young from a different country. Right, and if you're in that type of situation, I'm not saying that. Well, I'm just gonna say I don't think you should pursue it at all. Because, like you talk to them, everything sounds good. Then you move over, they don't have a car. They're barely making ends meet, things like that.
You figure out you're all in this web of lies,
right? And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, you find out that they have a second wife. It's crazy situations, but these are these things happen, right? And another thing that you got to think about is, like, if some older guy is talking to you, and they're from a different country, right? It's like, why couldn't you find someone in your country, right? I barely speak your language, right? And you're trying to marry me, right, from a different country. There's hella women in your country, right? They must not want you, and if they don't want them, you don't want them.
If an older man is talking to a young girl or vice versa, and the younger individual starts to feel uncomfortable about it because it's like, hey, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not in a position to get married. So how about we stop talking for a couple of years until, I'm finished with school. I'm finished
till I graduate
high school, till I'm ready to start my life. And then how about we continue talking? If their response is, well, oh man, well, I don't know, because I don't know how I will feel in a couple years, or like, I want you right now. No.
Or like, I don't know if I'll be available then. Like, well, if you're not going to be available in 2 years, that's a blessing for me. Right? I still have to finish high school.
Exactly. Exactly.
Finish high school, kids. One thing that we do want to say is that marrying someone who's older than you isn't always a bad thing. But there's a certain age group that people like try and target, like from 16 to about 20, 22 sometimes, because like
I will go even younger and say between like 13 to about 17.
Like, that's kind of super sketch,
Young women experience this type of predatory behavior from a very, very young age. It can even happen before. You know how many girls say they experience like some type of like sexual harassment from the age of like 7?
Girls aren't really excluded from this. There's a lot of women who prey on young guys because, they have a lot of different things going on, and they're having a difficult time finding guys their age. So they're going to try and find a guy that's younger who they can mold into the man that they want him to be.
And you see what type of problem that is?
Yeah, it's like they literally they in their minds, right? They're gonna marry someone and they're gonna try and sculpt them. Like, they see you as a block, right? And they're just gonna start carving away. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make him do the dishes and work. You know what I'm saying? No, like, this is how old people think. They be like, yeah, he's not gonna be on no games. He's gonna go to school. He's gonna come home. He's gonna pay my bills. I'm gonna sit on my butt. This is gonna be how our life is.
I think that's what it is. They try to get them before they figure out who they are, so they could turn them to what they want.
Those people, y'all ain't real. Y'all fake.
Like we said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to marry somebody older when you're in a position where you know yourself to the point where it's like you can understand what is positive and negative attention. And if you are, let's say, like 23 and then someone 30 is like, hey, I want to marry you. And you're at the point in your life where you're like, you know what? I could be married to you. I am stable. I am, I'm comfortable with myself. I know what I want, what I don't want. Then like, go for it. If that's what you want to do, you do you.
Yeah, definitely.
You just do you. And I'm going to do me.
Between, I'd say, like 22 and probably for some people up to 26, you at a state where you're kind of self-aware. Like you kind of know what you want. You know who you are. And once you reach that state, it doesn't really matter if you marry someone who's, I guess, a lot older than you. And, you can come into terms with that type of relationship. You can, you understand the consequences, right? But at a younger age, you're not at that. You're just simply not at that state, right? You're not at that point where you understand what you want or who you are. You never want to get into a situation where you feel like you're marrying your father. Okay? So if you're marrying your father or your mother, it's like, all right, no.
Someone's like,
you already have one of those, right?
Yeah, you don't need another one.
Oh God, you definitely don't need another one. Imagine. So everyone has a mom and a dad, one or the other, hopefully, inshallah. But regardless, we all have someone who's giving us a lecture. If you get a lecture from your husband or your wife, you need to rethink your situation.
That is true.
I
can't imagine sitting down and you're like, okay, Kamara, let me tell you. Give me like an hour lecture. Like, my dad, you're not my dad.
Like, listen, that teaching time is done, all right? If I want to go to a class, you'll see me paying for it, okay? All right? There's no free classes except for Marriage Mondays. Bam. Marriage Mondays is like a free class. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've made videos, and I'd say it's because, one,
our schedule.
It's
always our
schedule is so bad.
It's always our schedule.
And
always a schedule.
But there's no excuse.
There is an excuse, babe.
And
like, legit, our schedule is like...
Yeah, I wish we could really make more videos, but I think the plan, what we're going to start trying to do is
Wait, hold on. We're going to announce this Marriage Monday's first year anniversary.
Yeah, when is that?
Our anniversary.
That's when we started Marriage Monday?
Yes.
Oh, dang. Oh, yeah, we did. That's crazy. We've almost been doing this for a year.
So, next month. Yes, tomorrow's October. When they see this video, it's going to be October. November's next.
Yeah.
They looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I'm tripping. So yeah, we'll announce something next month. But, all right.
If you made it to the end of this video, thank you.
Thank you for watching our video, and we'd love for you to hit the subscribe button, like.
We should do the accent challenge video.
We should. Maybe we'll do an accent challenge video, and
maybe we'll post it sometime this week if they want to see it. We're not gonna put videos people don't want to see. So if you want to see an accent video.
If you want to see it, you can see it, and if you don't want to see it, you don't have to.
Wait.